many moons ago, I actually had caught the acting bug, right? And I was on the set of Bloodline on Netflix. So I was in the middle of like a drug deal scene between two big actors, and they were doing like some cocaine deal. And my phone had gone off, and I ruined the entire scene. And the tune on my phone was "Bad to the Bone." It's like "Ben and Anna, bad." And it ruined the scene. That was one of my funniest memories being on set. What is one of your craziest memories of something that happened on set, whether it be fans interrupting, something crazy that happened on set, someone getting hurt that you can remember from all the shows and all the movies you've been in?
The funniest stuff. I mean, I'll never forget there was a moment in Surviving the Game. Well, first off, yeah, let's say New Jack City. I walked on New Jack City. I never really acted. I've been in breaking, but I was called the featured rap talker. So I wasn't really an actor, so to speak. I was back on to the scene with the dancers. But N- New Jack City was my first time acting, and I showed up and I was like, I want to do my own stunts. And that morning, I chased Chris Rock all the way through Harlem. I must have ran 10 miles. I didn't know that they film you going one way, then they film you from the side, then they film you from the back. Then they want every time a little faster. And by lunch, my legs were like swollen. Like, if you haven't run in a while, they just don't want to move anymore. So I went to the stunt man. I said, "Can I like run into the camera like all the other people running away from the camera? Can it stunt?" And he said, "Ice T, your stunt man is your friend. Get to know him." He said, "All the big stars, they end up with a stunt man that looks similar built to them that can do martial arts or gymnastics or something. So you find the right stunt man." He said, "You're gonna be doing this for a long time." He says, "Find the right stunt man and they can really make you look good in the movies." So that was my first lesson.
Talking about police brutality in general, from the days of Cop Killer, do you believe that police brutality these days have gotten worse, or has it decreased over the past years?
I think it kind of got worse for a minute, right up to the George Floyd moment. Uh, then I think now they know we're watching them and they're kind of backing off. But the only difference between now and when I wrote the record is video cameras and the ability to film it. You know, when Rodney King got beat down, the camera was this big. It was a box, like you had that. You were like carrying a TV on your shoulder. So of course, no one could get this footage. Now every single human being has a video camera in their hand. A phone is now a video camera. So if anything's happening, you know, cops, they don't tend to do it right out in the open. They try to do it, they do it slick. But now that everybody has a camera, I think they're knowing that they have to they're getting held accountable. One thing I've learned from being a cop on television is that it's not as much racism as it is racial, or just not even say racial, it's profiling.
But what's the difference between profile and racism? What do you think the difference there would be?
Racist person just doesn't like you because you're a color, because you're black, because you're Jewish, because you're Italian, because whatever race they don't like, you're Indian, you're Muslim, whatever, they got an issue with that. Off top. They don't, you haven't done nothing. They just don't like, if you're just walking by them, they don't like you. That's a racist person. They pick a race and don't like it. Now there's a lot of people that are mad at Jewish people. That's racism too. That, even though that's a religion, that's just, I don't like you. You don't even know me, you know? So, but profiling is the cops determine whether you can fight them back. And if you can fight them back, they tread lightly.
But when you say fight them back, you don't mean physically, you mean by the law. So they'll target somebody that uh, you know, may look like they have a broken down car and they can't go to court and fight you and have a lot of money to fight back as well.
Absolute. That's what I mean. Like the Law and Order will say things like, they're from the Upper East Side, so tread light. Meaning they can do the police, but when you're in the hood, treat them any kind of way. But see, this is what happened. The tables got flipped because now when somebody in the hood and has a problem, they march. All right, people really they react. They don't like that either. You see what I'm saying? So even the person without the money, the protest, does the same thing as people with money. It makes them say we have to be accountable.
For somebody that grows up being a hustler, right? Whether it be drug dealing, whether it be robbing someone or being in the streets, but then eventually leave that life and become a successful entrepreneur. Um, how do you feel like street skills help the entrepreneur of today?
Well, let's put it like this. Street skills are basically survival skills.
Or even on the business side of things? Yeah.
Yeah, I got it, but I don't know anybody in their right mind that has other skills would try some street shit. I don't know why if you have it. There's a great movie called The Counselor with Brad Pitt, uh, and it's about an attorney who makes a decision to try to do a $20 million cocaine deal with the cartel, and everything goes wrong. So I think when you're coming out of the streets, you're just doing whatever you can do just to get a leg up. And you're trying to find a way that you can get to this legitimate side. Uh, uh, I think the only thing it just prepared me for was double crosses and people who say one thing and mean another thing. Like, I'm not naive to the fact that people will lie straight to your face. I'm not naive to the fact that people will try to rip you off. So I know that going into it. But legit business, Hollywood, all this stuff, it's full of backstabbers. It's full of do-lowers. And I I just think where I have a better focus, I can see what you're doing. And I have little ways of determining if you're full of shit or not
Right.
from, from the game, So
So it's like a personal BS detector coming from the streets. You just know.
yeah, you know it, but then also you're not allowed all the angles that come from the street. And angles in the street is if you say something to me I don't like, we come knock on your door. Can't do that no more in the legit world. You're gonna end up in an assault charge, or you're gonna end up with some bullshit. Everybody sues everybody over here, and now your money is on the books. See, if I'm in the street, I got money, but nobody knows it. You can't reach it. You can't touch it. If I bust your jaw, you can't touch my money. It's in the ether. It's out there. But now I see everything is on the books. They know exactly what it is, so they can take it.
What do you pay in taxes a year, would you say?
I don't want to say, but I pay more than people make.
Right.
Let's just get, because when you go into a 50% tax bracket, it's cold. Somebody. I remember I was doing a movie and I was jumping off a cliff and surviving the game, and I'm like, I'm jumping off the cliff, but the IRS is waiting at the bottom for the half of the check. Like, they not jumping. I'm taking risks. Why shouldn't he jump with me? You know what I'm saying? But
Did the amount that you pay in taxes change under Trump or Biden, or was there any difference there? Nothing.
nah, me myself, I believe both wings are on the same bird.
Right.
You know, like you got this bad over here, you got this bad over here. Ever since my since I've been through Bush, I've been through Obama, I've been through, son of a Bush, I've been through all of it. Every year, price inflation went up, groceries went up, everything. It just continually escalates. So they say, well, we're gonna give you this, but we're gonna take that. Um, it's crazy how much inflation has happened in my life. You know, like it's crazy. I mean, the theory that a car, a bad car, the baddest car could cost multi-millions. Mo I remember, a Porsche was like $100,000. Now they're $500,000, Then, like, I remember when Bugatti came out, and they're like, "It's $1 million car." Like, everybody's like, $1 million for a car? Now they got cars cost 18 million. Like, what the fuck? And a nice house, If you had a nice house, $200,000, $300,000 house was nice. Now you need 1,000,000. It's like, and people are making that much more money. It's just fucking crazy, man. Like, I'm very fortunate because I'm gainfully employed. I'm also fortunate because I built a career that's so multi-layered. There's a lot of ways I can do it. You know what I'm saying? I can act over here. I can go do concerts over here. I could do speaking engagement. So I'm kind of, my career is, I'm cool. But the thing of it is, a new person starting out, the artists I work with now, just to get a leg up, will they ever become Ice-T? Will they ever be somebody that you would interview in 20 years? You know what I'm saying? Will they have that type of career that people give a fuck about?
While I was watching the Drink Champs interview with you on there, and much love to Nori, EFN, and also a good friend of mine, the sound engineer, Hazardous Sounds. You had mentioned something about being able to turn cursing on and off, right? Was there ever a time in your career, either whether it be now or early on, where whether it be in meetings, you tend to let cursing slip out a little bit more, a little bit less, and it kind of ruined an opportunity for you, or has it never been that way with you?
Nah, never. I mean, I know how to play the room. I mean, how to read a room. I know when it's appropriate. Um, I'm not gonna do anything that's offensive to anybody intentionally. Um, but like you're on Drink Champs, or I'm doing this interview. I don't know. Is it okay? I'm not cursing yet. Is it okay? I don't know. But it really is not. To me, those words are explanation points. They're just, sometimes you just need to add a little bit to the sauce.
Right.
But I'll tell you a funny story about cursing. Red Fox, rest in peace, one of the greatest comedians of all time, one of my favorites. He was very, very raunchy in real life. All the stuff he did, and I was on Arsenio Hall the night he happened to pass away that night, and they asked him. They said, Red, you've got one of the most blue shows, blue meaning X-rated, in Vegas, but you've never been bleeped on television one time. How do you do that? And Red Fox says, I know where I'm at. I know if I'm in front of children. I know if I'm in front of this. I know on television what's accepted. And I know what to do with my nightclub act. And by the way, who them hoes in the green room? And that shit, that's Wyman was so perfect and stuff. So no, I don't. The only person I know that breaks rules is Snoop, and not cursing but smoking weed.
Right. He does it anywhere, anytime, doesn't care.
He came on SVU. He smoked them out on a set. He didn't smoke when we were on the stage, but he smoked in my dressing room. Had it smoked out. But that's just Snoop. Snoop is like, yo, you want me? This comes with it. But I don't think it's disrespectful. I just think it's just part of, he leaves that legacy. Snoop was here, and like Willie Nelson was here and smoked this out. So,
Out of all the things you've done, whether it be, the music world, whether it be acting or business, what brought you in the most money in your career?
oh wow. Well, got to be SVU. It's got to be SVU. I made a lot of money early. I think we combined sold 22 million records. That was back when you were making $1 a record, not to count I was on New Jack City soundtrack, double platinum, all these different. But when you make money through music, you have to split it with producers. You got agents, you got that, you got that. So it's not all going in your pocket. When SVU came, you're doing 22, 23 episodes a season. You're getting a episodic fee. So whatever they're paying you per episode times that by 22, that's what you're making on SVU a year. And I'd done it for 27 years. So accumulate all the money over that time. Yeah, that's been the biggest cash cow. Um, just for the simple time I've done it. You do anything for 27 years, it's probably gonna be the biggest chunk of money.
Speaking of the music industry these days, you mentioned, you get a dollar record back then, so on and so forth. Do you think that up and coming artists now are getting screwed on Spotify and iTunes and things like that? What's your take on that?
Fuck streaming, you know. Um, I don't get it. Uh, Call me old, but when you do a record deal, you make a deal to sell an album and get a dollar, let's say. We'll just say hypothetically. A lot of kids are getting 40 cents an album, 50 cents. But if you negotiate it up to $1 album, so you sell 1 million records, you make $1 million. So that simple math. And also there was physicals. You could see how many CDs were pressed and this and the third. Once they went to streaming, you just have to believe what they tell you. They throw your record up into the atmosphere, and then you just have to believe what Spotify or Disco, whatever, is selling you. And Spotify was paying 0.007 cents a stream. And I never even met a pimp that could break a penny down. Okay. So they, so Snoop made it big where he said he did 1 billion streams and made $48,000.
I remember when he posted that. Yeah.
So even if he made 1 billion streams and he made $300,000, that's still 1 billion streams. That's 1,000 million. How many people will ever have that much?
Right. So how does an artist monetize if not the streams? Is it through the live shows?
Oh, well, nowadays it's a lot of it. But say an artist like Taylor Swift or Beyonce, Kendrick, Drake, they're going to get those streams. But that money is just light money. The big money is, like you say, the concerts. I just saw Kendrick just sold out Mexico. So now it's almost like the music is free and you get the music away, so to speak. And hopefully you could do shows to back that up, or you can get brand deals or things of that nature that can, you can segue. But it's not like you're selling records anymore. It's a whole nother game. Also, the new artist has to be an internet maniac. Like they have to get their stream. Like record labels don't sign artists anymore. They sign whoever has the numbers. So you could create a fake artist and boost his algorithm up to where he looks big. And all those people are bots. And they'll get a label deal because the label execs are just waiting to find somebody who makes themselves hot.
Congratulations on opening your cannabis dispensary. As you know, cannabis is a multi-billion-dollar industry. So far since its opening, have you seen some decent revenues off cannabis? And where do you see that industry going, in the future? Should people invest into cannabis?
The only- I think it's over.
You think it's
Right now it's open.
it's over? So,
No, 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 I didn't say that.
oh, so
I'm hearing the echo. Um, right now I think it's oversaturated. I think they gave out a lot of licenses. Here in Jersey, we were trying to get a license and we got it. It took us 5 years. And by the time we got it, they opened up a whole bunch of other cannabis dispensaries. So now it's just like we're just really barely breaking even, barely making a profit. But we're going to stay in it for the long run because the next wave is the cannabis where they're going to allow consumption lounge. And my space is 12,000 square feet. We're only using half of it right now. We have another 6,000 square feet that we're going to be able to open up to a consumption lounge. So once we're able to do that, hopefully you got to be the first, right? So we want to be the first. So, we're going to see what happens as far as it goes. But, you know, cannabis is a big thing, I mean, when it was illegal. Now that it's legal, it's just another thing.
right.
You know, it's just another thing. So it's gonna hit its point and peak out. But I believe it's gonna be a good business. But if you're gonna get invested in it, go somewhere where they don't have it.
Where do you think that would be? Somewhere in the Midwest, or what's a good location to start investing in the cannabis business?
I don't know, someplace where it's illegal right now.
It's where prohibition is about to happen.
Right, right. And you got the inside and know what's going to happen to you. Then if you could jump on and be one of the first, you're going to reap the benefits. People will come from miles around. So if you're one cannabis store in a 30-mile radius, yeah, you're going to get rich. If there's three on that block,
Obviously, you are a legend that comes from the music space, and then you transitioned over to acting. Do you think all these years you've truly gotten the flowers and the credit you deserve for opening up those doors for other people?
I don't know. I mean, they say those who say don't know and those who know don't say. I think the people that I care about know. And they say, come on, man, Ice did a lot for this and put a lot of people on. And, you know, one of the first rappers before Tupac, before, Will Smith, before everybody who took the risk of jumping from music to acting. Um, if the fans don't know, I really don't care. I'm not a person that cares about accolades, because I know I did it. And I think it gets corny when you start to tell people, oh, you're not getting enough love. I think the only way I could get more love is if motherfuckers carried me down the street. You know what I'm saying? I don't really know what more love would feel like because everybody I meet is like, Ice, I fucks with you. I was, I grew up with you, this, that, and the other. Now, the haters that don't like me, fuck them. I don't care about them. But the people who I've touched, that's great. I think my career, the best thing about my career to me is you could say Ice-T has said a lot of wild shit, but you can't say Ice-T has ever said any stupid shit.
Right. The stark difference. Yeah.
And also, I don't think you're gonna have to travel far and wide to find somebody that's gonna talk down on a player. Is gonna try to say something out the way, like I done something wrong to him or did some shady shit. If anything, they're just mad at. See what happens is when you fly for a long time, people build a resistance to you. They just get tired of liking you. They just like, yo, this motherfucker, like they mad you still around, you know? And but me myself, man, I'm just right now, my main goal, I do what I call sucker ducking. I'm off the grid. You're not gonna see me. I'm not trying to be in none of this chaos and these fights and all this drama. I'm out the way. All the bullshit is going in politics right now. I call that shit white on white crime. I'm not in it. I'm not in it. My position has been well stated over the years. Go check my discography. I've said what I got to say. These motherfuckers is wild right now. They are wild. I'm like,
Speaking of freedom of speech, did you agree with a lot of what Charlie Kirk said? Obviously, you saw the situation, or were you in kind of disagreement on some of the things he
I
said?
had no idea I had no idea who Charlie Kirk was.
Right.
I wasn't even on his channel. I think a lot of people found out who he was when he got hit. But no, I didn't, and I listened to a lot of the stuff he said. No, I don't care so much for what he was saying. But at the same time, I don't want nobody to get killed, you know? So, I mean, I'm not no sucker like that. Wishing death on somebody could bring it on you. I know that from the streets. You know what I'm saying? So I don't, I, my thing is that motherfuckers is moving wild right now. They moving wild. When they point the fingers and they blaming each other and this, that, and the other, and bullets are flying. I'm cool. I did that in the hood. I called them the Democrips and the Blood Brothers. They gang banging, man. And in a real way. In a real way, man. I'm chilling, man. I'm cool.
How do you feel about gatekeepers in the industry? The people that, some people say like Funkmaster Flex, he won't play individuals' music, so people call him the gatekeeper. How do you feel about gatekeepers in the industry that don't let other people through when they get through the door?
I don't think it's gatekeeping so much. I think it's just DJs play to their audience and they know what their audience wants. So they're gonna play a certain record. Also, I'm not putting Flex in the mix, but a lot of DJs are getting paid, you know? So I don't think a DJ would intentionally not play your music unless he got a personal problem with you.
Right.
Maybe you said something out the way. I'm cool with Flex. I've been cool with all the DJs, but A lot of times they like, well, we play for this region, we play for the South, we play for these people, we play this, we play that. You, you can't get pissed at a DJ for not playing your shit. Like I used to tell cats, if I'm a DJ and you're my best friend and I play your record and it clears my dance floor, I can't play your record again. I gotta play records that's gonna keep people on the floor. I'm a DJ. That's how I keep my job. So you can't get mad. Um, and the thing of it is, where they're not playing it, they're playing it someplace else. That's the thing. They don't have to play it. If the shit's good, it's gonna do what it's supposed to do. I mean, I never got played in New York, Philly, or Jersey, and I was selling gold and platinum records. So I think a lot of artists like to blame gatekeepers. I'm a gate hopper. Like fuck gatekeeper. You know what I'm saying? You can't you cannot let anybody be the problem.
Right.
You can't, you know, you can't say if me and you sit down and it's a business and we say blah blah blah. This is the when I do business deals, I'm like, so what could go wrong? I don't like fuck all what's going. What could go wrong? We need to address the top possibilities of what could go wrong. And we have to attack that first, not just say, "Oh, this is gonna go right. This is gonna go right." And what could go wrong?
As a businessman yourself, do you find it harder to reach the first million or to get from 1 million to 10 million?
To reach your first million is the hardest because the first million you probably don't have any money to invest. So you're dragging your knuckles trying to get it up. You got 50,000, you trying to get to 100,000. Then you got to invest 50 of that to bake that up to 150. And every time you're making that move to grow to that million, you're risking everything. When you get to a million, now, okay, you got a little money to play with. You could put 200,000 in, you still got 8 in the cut. So now you got money to play with. But when you coming out the bottom is the hardest. And then the thing of it is that what I've noticed in my life is you start working in different number units, meaning when you're small, you're just trying to get a few $1,000s. Let's put it like this with my career. You call me up, loud, Ice, you want to do a spot? Yeah, it's gonna be 5,000. We working in 5,000. Then it jumps to 10,000. It's gonna be 10,000. You want to see oh no, no, no. That was yesterday's price. Now it's 25,000. So what happens is you start to like work. Now you're working in the 100,000s. You want Ice, got it's 100,000, 2, 3. You start talking in it's like buying Ferraris. You don't say 700 and 27 that the 27,000 doesn't matter. It's either 700,000 or 800,000. You start talking in those increments. At some point, you're going to get to the millions where everything is a million, 2, 3, 4 million, 5. They, so it's just natural growth. The big businesses are talking in hundreds of millions. They're talking in 50 million. They're talking 30 million. Those millions are just numbers. And I look, man, this all I can say is there's only one thing harder than getting there, and that's staying there.
Keeping the money you make.
But just whatever level you're on right now, Brian, just continually growing, not going backwards. It's so see, going forward is difficult. It's difficult. It took me 60 something years to get to my position. Going backwards is instantaneous. All I got to do, stand up in a restaurant, take a glass and throw it across the room and bust somebody in the head.
Gone. Everything's taken from you in a minute. 1 second. 1 second. Now, for the final question, you had mentioned something in the past about how you were able to monetize controversy. Has there ever been a time in your career where something controversial has happened, but you weren't quite able to monetize it or come out with a positive benefit?
Well, no, I just want people to know that controversy is a double edged sword. If you're using controversy to make money, you're much more you're much more brave than me. I've never used it to make money. I just was caught in controversy because I was just controversial. It was never an attempt. When we did Cop Killer, I never thought it was going to be a hit record. I never thought it was going to be. I didn't know the shit was going to really hit the fan. So I don't really know what I'm about to say is going to be controversial. Oh no, maybe I just said white on white crime. Now somebody takes it and runs with it and turns me into a racist or something. I don't know. It just happens. I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this. When we went through Cop Killer, we lost as much money as we made.
Really? What was the reason for that?
Shows getting canceled. People wouldn't insure us. Lawsuit, things of that nature that you got to fight, whether you win it or not. You got to spend legal fees, shit like that. The record sold, but it's not. I wouldn't use controversy as a way to sell. Um, I think it's not. I wouldn't advise it. Let's just put it like that. I wouldn't advise it. People think, oh yeah, well, any press is good press. I disagree. I disagree. You must anybody says all press is good press has never gotten press. They don't know what like bad press could ruin your family. It could ruin your life. It can fuck over you badly. Put out something, oh, I see, he's sick or I got something, you can't unring a bell. So bad press, nah. Um, nah, I'm not a pro controversy. I'm just I've been controversial by just being outspoken. But it depends on whether they want to turn it into something. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody can twist it and spin it.
Do you believe in cancel culture?
Well, they've been trying to cancel me for 40 years. So I don't I don't really know how they would cancel me.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. Maybe say Ice-T is, a conservative and it's some bullshit.
Yeah, they came after Snoop, right? When didn't he do something at the one of the Trump rallies? They came after him for a bit.
They pay Snoop $1 million to do a thing at a crypto party that it somehow was connected. I'm like, Snoop, you black. Get that $1 million, nigga. Stop playing. Yo, fuck the bull. I believe that when it comes to this politics shit, I think we all agree with some of the shit on this side and some of the shit on that side. I think that's the thing. Most people are kind of in the middle, but then when you get to the extreme sides of it, it gets wild and weird and dangerous. So, people always ask me, they say, Ice, why don't you get into politics? And my answer is, I got out of crime, man. I don't have to answer to any investors. I've never had physical investors in my life. I don't want to answer to anybody. I'm moving my speed. I'm living my life for me and my family and my friends. That's it. Like I'm not in your gang. I'm not part of that.